Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present to you Karen Armstrong, internationally renowned scholar and devoted student of comparative religion, and one of the world's leading commentators on religious affairs, who is dedicated to bringing religious communities around the globe to a better understanding of one another. A graduate of St. Anne's College, Oxford, she is a prolific writer of religious history. Her numerous books, now more than 20 of them, on the history of world religions, have been translated into over 50 languages. Currently, Ms. Armstrong is working especially to promote her proposed Charter for Compassion. In this initiative and in all her work, she is seeking to bring together the voices of people from many religions. She reminds the world that different faiths, while distinct, share the golden rule and the core principle of compassion. She emphasizes that compassion does not mean feeling sorry or having pity for others, but rather teaches that it means putting ourselves in the position of the other, learning about the other, learning what motivates the other, learning about the other's grievances. An ambassador for the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations, she has spoken before policymakers in several branches of the US government on numerous occasions, has participated in the World Economic Forum, has addressed the Council on Foreign Relations in Washington, and is regularly invited to speak in such predominantly Muslim countries as Pakistan, Malaysia, and Turkey. In addition to honorary doctorates from Aston University and the University of St. Andrews in the United Kingdom, and Queen's University here in Canada, her many awards include the Roosevelt Institute's Freedom of Worship Award, the Dr. Leopold Lucas Prize of the University of Tübingen, the Swedish Nationalencyklopediens International Knowledge Award, the TED Prize, and the Jack P. Blaney Award for Dialogue. The embodiment of religious tolerance and spiritual transformation, Karen Armstrong is a thought-provoking and original public intellectual on the role of religions in the modern world. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Karen Armstrong, that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Divinity, honoris causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Dr. Karen Armstrong to deliver the convocation address. Dr. Armstrong.
Chancellor, Madam President, graduates, everybody here in this room, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is a moment of huge emotion for me. I'm deeply grateful for this honor to receive such an award from this distinguished university. But those of us who, like myself also, have had the enormous privilege of receiving such a marvelous education as you have here, have also a responsibility. I think that every single one of us in this room, all you graduates, I appeal to you, in whatever walk of life you find yourself, in whatever career you undertake, to do your best to address one of the chief tasks of our time, which must surely be to create a global community where people of all ethnicities and persuasions and ideology can live together in equity and relative harmony. Unless now we learn to treat all peoples, whoever they are, as we would wish to be treated ourselves, the world is not going to be a viable place. And I'm sure all you graduates are brimful of knowledge, everything you've acquired during your years here. But I'd like you to remember this, how little we know. Because I'm quite sure that you will have been made aware that however enormous your knowledge and your scholarly expertise, even in your own discipline, there's more and more and more to find out. And this is one of the chief problems of our time, is that there's so much omniscience around. Information is available at the click of a mouse, and we speak very omnisciently about other people. Oh, well, the trouble with her is, as though that you could sum up the mystery of a human being in a single sentence. And we do it also with whole peoples, whole traditions, whole nations. Oh, well, the trouble with Islam is. And very often when you listen to their remarks, you realize, if you know a little bit about the subject, that the amount of reliable information there could be comfortably contained on the back of a small postcard. So dialogue is one of the chief buzzwords of our time. There's a general belief that if only we could engage in dialogue, peace would break out. And yet there's not much dialogue going on. It's more like diatribe. Very often in our politics, in the media, even in academia, it's not enough for us to seek the truth. We also have to defeat and humiliate our opponents. But that's not the way Socrates, the founder of the Western rational tradition, conceived of dialogue. He said that if you did not go into dialogue prepared to be changed in some way, there was no point. On the last day of his life, he said that he was wise only in one respect, that he knew nothing at all. People, when they came to Socrates, thought they knew everything there was to know. But after half an hour of Socrates' relentless questioning, they found they didn't know the first thing about such basic issues as goodness, courage, or justice. At the end of a Socratic dialogue, as reported by Plato, we often are left with the participants feeling bewildered, saying, we know nothing. We now have to go back to school and begin again. And at that moment, Socrates said, you have become a philosopher. There is a speech in Hamlet which has always spoken to me on this issue. I'm sure, as McGill graduates, you won't need me to tell you the story of Hamlet, but just in case you're a little rusty, I'll remind you that Hamlet has been causing a great deal of trouble in the court of Denmark. And the king has set two of his friends, his old friends, to spy on him. And it doesn't take Hamlet long to know what's going on. So one night he approaches his friend Guildenstern with a pipe, a recorder, and he says, I pray you, play upon this pipe. My lord, I cannot, says Guildenstern. It's nothing to it, says Hamlet. It's as easy as lying. You just blow down this tube, wiggle your fingers around, and out comes the music. My lord, I have not the skill, says Guildenstern. Why, look you now, says Hamlet, what a poor thing you would make of me. You would play upon me as this pipe. You would play me to the top of my bent. You would pull out all my stops. You would pull out the heart of my mystery. And how often we do that, pulling out, eradicating the core mystery of each person, each nation, each people simply to suit a personal agenda of our own and causing great misery and distress. So I want to leave you with these words of the great Muslim mystic Ibn Arabi. He lived in the 12th and 13th century. He's talking about religious faith or religious chauvinism. But I think that this can apply, this attitude, this open attitude, to any discipline, whether it's a political one, an academic one, a business one. Don't be too certain. Remember how little you know. This is what Ibn Arabi says. Do not praise your own faith so exclusively that you disbelieve all the rest. If you do this, you will miss much good. Nay, you'll fail to realize the real truth of the matter. God, the omnipresent and omniscient, cannot be confined to any one creed, for he says in the Quran, wheresoever ye turn, there is the face of Allah. Everybody praises what he knows. His God is his own creature, and in praising it, he praises himself. Consequently, he blames the beliefs of others, which he would not do if he were just, but his dislike is based on ignorance. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Armstrong. I know I speak for everyone in this room that we cannot help but be moved by your words. Thank you.